So there's two tall pine trees here on our right side. If we pass it, kind of look back at it, you'll see there's another eagle's nest up near the top. And there's one of the trees in the back of the group.
So I'm sure you've seen those markers with the orange flag on them, and one of them had a black flag on them. And I told you earlier those were net markers. And the commercial fishermen out here use two different types of nets. The traditional net they use is the gill net. The gill net kind of looks like a tennis court net stretched out on the bottom of the lake, only it's about 300 yards long. And the size of the net determines the kind of fish they caught. If they're using a net with big holes in it, the fish will swim through it if they're smaller, but the bigger ones will get caught in it, and it will catch them in their gills, and then the fishermen will pull the net up and take the fish out of the gill net. The other net they use out here is called a pond net or a trap net. And the trap net's a little different. The holes in the net are actually very small, and the fish don't get caught in the net itself. They actually bounce off the net. And they're kind of directed in a way where they swim into this area that's surrounded by a big net in a circle. Once they get into that circle area, they can't get out. At the back of the circle, there's a smaller area that they swim into, which is the trap. And once they're in that trap, they can't get out. And the fishermen will come, they'll pull up that trap, they'll scoop the fish out of that, put them in their boats, and then reset the trap for other fish later. Now the fish they're going for here are the whitefish and the ray trout. They can take as many whitefish as they'd like as long as they're 17 inches in length. There's a quota on the number of lake trout they can take. Usually it's about 300 fish a year, or about 1 to 2 fish a day. And there's also size limits on them too. And once they've caught their quota, they can't catch any more lake trout. Now in the fall, in October and November, when they're out here, they're also going for herring. And the herring is the only fish that they will catch during spawning season. And the reason for that is the fish eggs are pretty valuable, and they will catch the herring, which are tasty also. And then they'll milk the fish eggs out of the females, and then they will sell those. Most of them go over to Sweden, where they're used like a jelly on a toast for breakfast. Now, as I said, if you get a chance, make sure you stop in any of the restaurants and try the local fish. But there are two fish shops in town, the Hoops and Bodine, where you can buy your own fresh fish. And you can also buy smoked fish. So if you'd like to take some fish home with you, that's a good place to stop. They may not be open when we get back, but they'll be open in the morning. And you'll be able to get smoked whitefish, smoked lake trout, and sometimes smoked salmon. And I really believe no trip to Bayfield will be complete until you have the local fish. This island up in front of us now is Devil's Island. It is the northernmost point in Wisconsin. And when we get up here, you're going to notice that the rocks at the south end of the island are a lot like we saw at Hermit and Fastbrook, which is that Tremology sandstone. But as we get farther to the north, you're going to notice the difference of the rock. It's going to be oranger in color and distinctly layered. This is called the Devil's Island Formation, or Devil's Island Sandstone. And it was laid down here about 600 million years ago. by graded streams that were carrying sediment northward to a mountain range down in Minnesota. And laid down this Devil's Island sediment and turned into sandstone. The sandstone is softer than the Schwaberman sandstone. And over the eons, water and wind and ice have caused little caves to be carved into the island. And these caves that give the island its name. As water rushes in and out, it makes all sorts of different noises. Of course, you'd expect to hear thunder when a wave goes crashing into a cave, but if you listen carefully, you might even hear the sound of women screaming. The Ojibwe called the island Michi Manitou Minis, or Island of the Evil Spirits, and the Europeans thought much the same and named it Devil's Island. So when I get up here, I'm going to make a couple passes. I'm going to make a pass on the left side so you can all see the caves, and then I'll turn around and make a pass on the right, and then I'll get a little farther out so you can get a better view of the buildings on the island. So just hold on, we'll be to Devil's Island here in just a couple minutes.
Nalamis dito yan yung baglakad din. Nakaslay dyan Boston, Massachusetts City na boat tayo. It's so hot.
Change between the Chequamegon sandstone and the Devil's Island sandstone kind of happening here. There's a little more orange in color, layered. And there are a few small caves here at this end here, but as we get up farther, they'll be more dramatic. The left side, this was called the East Landing. And it's actually pretty deep right up to the rocks there, and boats can tie up on those rocks. And that was pretty useful for the lighthouse keepers. When they come out here in the springtime, they could tie up to the East Landing here and offload all the gear and their provisions for the summer, and just carry it the short distance to the lighthouse. If the waves were too rough here, they'd have to land on the south end of the island, and then they'd have to haul their stuff a full mile the length of the island up to the lighthouse. Now, Calvin Coolidge came here to the East Landing in 1928. And he had his boat pulled up to the rocks, tied up. His friends and him got out, had a nice picnic here on the rocks, toured the lighthouse, and got back in their boat and went home. The lighthouse keeper at the time learned that that picnic cost $7,000, and that was 3 times his salary. And he thought it was kind of a waste of money. So in his logbook, you can see all sorts of derogatory comments towards the president and towards government waste in general. Now I'm going to be kind of quiet here. I'll just let you guys ooh and ah here at the caves as we go by. As I said, when I get to the other end, I'll flip around and come back on the other side, so you don't all have to rush to one side.
Tatay. Makita tatay. Oh, see? See? Makita tatay. The lighthouse. Oh. Getting closer. Okay, buha ka. Nga. Buti may buhok pa ako. Ah, binagyo. Can we go turn around at least so we can see it too? Are they doing that? Are they going to turn around? Oh, we do? Okay. That's good. Daddy. Pindot. Thank you. Ay, sa bali pindutan man. Daddy. Nagsaro to. Nagsaro to. Nag-turn around pa iba? Oh, okay. That's good. Glenda Life Journey USA. Next time again.